everybody. My name is Ryan Pesch. I'm an extension educator with the University of Minnesota. I am also a certified organic vegetable operator who runs his own business here near Pelican Rapids. And I know that we were going to have a marketing 101 session here for small businesses in the Pelican Rapids area. And we have since canceled that. So it seemed appropriate that I put out a short little video to get you thinking about marketing your business and creating some promotional materials for your business. Since we're all at home right now, this might be a good opportunity to kind of think through our marketing plan and think through our promotional efforts in connecting with customers. So first, I'd like us to start with just concepts, if you will. Marketing is the process of understanding your product and how to get your product to your end customer. That includes pricing, that includes these promotional efforts, that includes identifying your product, many things. But I thought I'd boil it down in this marketing 101 to what I think are three main concepts for you to think about. One, it's kind of like a 10 commandments, like what's the commandment? One is know thy customer. You need to kind of have a good sense in your mind about who is the end purchaser, what kind of people they are. Think through in your mind, who are my different customer segments and what are their interests in buying a product from me? Why would they buy a product from me? Are they busy people? Are they high income people? Are they highly educated people? Are they low income people? Are they strapped for time? Think about the groups of people that will buy your good or service and what are their interests in buying your goods and service. This will drive how you reach them and how you promote your product or your service. Second is know thy product. All businesses are a little bit different. So you could be in an industry or a kind of business that's very competitive, or it's very competitive on terms of price. You need to understand where your good or service, how that compares to your competitors, both in terms of price, in terms of quality, in terms of if it's a service, what are some things that you do that other people don't do? Or what do you do very well that you think other people don't do well? All of these are trying to figure out what's that comparative advantage I have with the competition. And that's really all about knowing your product. You need to understand that and think through those items before you begin promoting it. Number three, know thy message. So we're talking about doing promotional efforts. We need to figure out, based on our customers and what we know about our customers, what message we're delivering to them about our good or service, about our business in general. So I thought it would be, what we would do in the workshop is we might go in depth and hands-on in creating some promotional materials, and also talk about what makes good promotional materials. And I boiled down a few concepts to keep in mind in terms of any promotional effort, just to keep the language straight, the definition straight. One is this concept of reach. If you're going to create a promotional piece or a promotional tool takes many different forms. It could be social media, it could be a brochure, it could be an advertisement on TV, radio. You get the idea. There's lots of different ways of reaching people. All of those are tools. The two main concepts to keep in mind when you're choosing the tools to meet or reach your audience is reach and frequency. Reach is how far that marketing tool or the promotional tool will go. Will it go all across the US? Will you do advertising only within a particular area? If you're making postcards, are you mailing them directly to people? Then you know exactly the reach. And frequency, how often are you doing this? How often do you need to deliver that message? People get annoyed if you beat them over the head with the same message 4 times a day. Probably not 4 times a day. You need to understand, think through, how often should I be reaching out to my customers and potential customers? I don't want to wear out my welcome, but I want to stay in some kind of consistent contact with people. Whatever the promotional tools we make, there are a couple things to keep in mind. One, I would like us to think about what's a clear call to action. If we gave somebody a postcard or we gave somebody a brochure, what are we asking them to do? That's a call to action. What is the price of my product and how do you buy my product? You call me, you email me, you fill out this web form, you go to this website and you put in an order. That's how you buy my product. That's a clear call to action. And no matter what promotional materials we come up with, we want to be consistent. So my example here is for our own business, whether it's this brochure or whether it's just signage that's at our farm stand, we keep these things consistent. Consistent font, consistent colors, consistently use a logo. You can have many different promotional materials, but you want to be consistent in your messages and consistent in the look of the materials that you're doing. So it doesn't matter what tool you're using, consistency helps. It helps to brand you, and so people identify you and your business with a certain look and or something like a logo, which is trying to do something consistent. So let's go back. So what kind of efforts can we do here by ourselves now that we're all trapped in the house with coronavirus? We can think about sketching out some of these promotional materials, brainstorming on these promotional materials. I'd like you to say, okay, what would be the best promotional tool I could use to reach my customers or my potential customers? Decide on a postcard, brochure, advertising of some sort. Decide on the tools and then sketch out those materials. What would they look like? What are the messages we need to include? Are they geared towards a given target audience? If so, we might use slightly different language to really speak to them. And then let's think through the content. What is it that we're going to put out that's really going to tell the story of our business, or really be clear about what our product is or what our service is in comparison to other people? In terms of content, can we do this visually? So for example, I farm, and so I'm in a business that has really that can give really pretty pictures, right? I can show you a picture of my product and make it appealing to people. I mean, this is, I'm kind of lucky this way. What do you do if you're selling insurance? The picture doesn't necessarily work as well. You yourself as a salesperson and the business might be the face of that business. It's maybe a picture of you that matters. But again, we want to think through what would this look like if we're sketching out materials? What would it look like? And what are we trying to convey to people? And how do we convey that message? Can we do it with words, or can we do it with pictures? So I always say, here's an example of us sketching out materials, doing a brochure. What's our introduction? Maybe we have a little call-out box. What's the detailed information? You might have a product where you need detailed information. People want some details. Put them in there. And what are the important ones to put in there? We don't want to put in so much text that nobody's ever going to read it, but we need to maybe give them enough details that they understand the product or service. What is the clear call to action? Call to action. How do I buy this thing? Tell them you want to sell it to them. Tell them a price. Tell them how they purchase it. Call me. Email me. Go to my website. So one example I always talk about is oftentimes a lot of farm operators like me are trying to talk about how we are family farms. So one example, I talk about that as well. I actually put a picture of my family in my promotional materials. So this is our brochure. In terms of a layout, the details are inside. We're selling CSA shares for $275 or $525. People need some details to buy a product that expensive. We're not talking about a $20 transaction. We talk about why are they buying from CSA? Why are they buying from Lyda Farm? We have pictures that illustrate what they're getting in a box. We have pictures over here that's kind of cute, me and my son. What do they get each week? How much does a share cost? And how do I sign up? A clear call to action. On the backside, logo to clear identifying us. We're showing the product in a picture. The USDA logo, which shows that we are certified organic. And a little bit of sort of a personal color. Meet the growers and see the family, see the people who are growing this product for you and about our growing practices. So obviously, what you're going to do in your own brochure or marketing materials is quite a bit different than what I'm doing in mine, because you have different customers, you have a different product, and you have different messages. So let's think about these concepts. Let's take a little time to think about our different marketing materials, how we can reach our audience, sketch those out, and I'm more than happy to continue the conversation with you. So again, I thank you for this time. My apologies that we were unable to host the workshop, but hopefully this gave you some things to think about here in this time where we can all work on our marketing materials. Very good. Thank you much. Take care.